Sair da escola já com uma formação profissional no currículo? Parece bom demais pra ser verdade, né? Pois é. No ensino técnico do Senac, isso é possível. É ensino médio junto com formação técnica, que acontece durante os 3 anos. Lá, eles usam metodologia para projetos, desenvolvendo competências como resolução de problemas, pensamento crítico e colaboração, além de valores éticos e sustentáveis. Quer saber? Senac. Acesse sp.senac.br/ensino médio e saiba mais.
Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer. So let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
This is a very special episode of Kill Me Now. For many reasons. Mm-hmm. First of all, my friend Artie Lange, who I fucking love.
Oh, thank you.
For many years.
Yes.
Many.
Right.
My fellow Jerseyite, my fellow Union County person.
That's right. I know. Well, what town are you from?
Clark.
Oh, I'm from Union.
I know.
Clark.
I know.
The most intolerant.
Oh, I know. The most lefty left.
The closest I've ever been to a Klan meeting is a diner at Clark.
I know. It's unbelievable. We had swastikas all over our house.
Yeah, the Clark is hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They used to have Klan meetings at the high school.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It was unbelievable. And then there was a whole Jew-Italian section.
Yeah.
All right. I love you for that. I love you on so many levels because I kind of relate to you. And this is my first work job since my mother died, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Almost 3 weeks ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you, Artie.
Yeah, I know how special your mom was.
Yeah.
Your mom was part of your act.
I know.
One of the funniest things ever.
And you know what? At Shiva,
right.
Joy Behar says to me, "Hey, you lost 20 minutes. 25. Maybe
More than
25.
that.
Maybe 25. Maybe." Well, you know, Artie, thank God my cousin fainted in the middle of my fucking eulogy at the grave.
Oh.
So now I have a whole...
At the grave?
At the fucking grave!
Oh, my God.
I just got my first laugh.
Right.
Everything was going great. And all of a sudden I hear, Stephen! Stephen!
Oh, God.
I wanted... Well, I was like, I can't First of all, it's my cousin's husband. He's one of these guys who always had he had lactose intolerance before they invented it, and gluten-free shit before they invented it.
Imagine not knowing what that is, and you have that.
Right. So he had all
dying.
that, and they were like, you can't eat grains, and you can't eat this, and you can't. So anyway, he found out he had high cholesterol, so he decided to go on a vegan diet.
Right.
2 days prior.
Oh.
And
he fainted.
Yeah. So he had a piece of toast 3 hours before, is standing in 88-degree weather, and passes out. Whatever.
I bet that was your mom.
I said that. I got him back, Artie, because
Upstaging you.
You know, then everyone's calling 911, and then I had to get back in it. You know,
right.
You know.
Yeah.
So,
well, you're a pro.
Right. So I said, I can just imagine my mother. He couldn't faint at Jane's house in the air conditioning.
That tape is so great. I remember the first time I heard that. I think it was at Caroline's. The first time I heard you play the tape.
Which one?
Yeah, I have many now.
This has to be 20 years ago.
I know.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was before cell phones.
Yeah, well, you had a cassette. You had a cassette.
Yes, I did.
You played it on a Walkman. That's the
Right.
first time I heard it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, man.
We're
well,
fucking old.
listen. I'm sorry. How old was she?
92.
Yeah. So she's.
Yeah.
She lived it.
Yeah, she lived it.
She smoked it to the filter.
Yeah.
Did you marry her? And did you? There's a Freudian slip.
Yeah, I married
Did you?
her.
Did you
I
marry
actually
her
did, yeah.
in Jersey? By
Yeah,
Clark?
Perth Amboy.
Oh, Perth Amboy. All right.
Yeah, that's where my family settled
Okay,
when
there
they
you
came
go.
over.
All right.
Okay, so Artie, you have so many fucking stories.
Yeah.
Our podcast, Kill Me Now, is about what pisses you off. Now, I know everything pisses you off because you're from Jersey and I'm from Jersey.
Right.
I had a piss off thing that just happened to me, okay? So I get here. First of all, there was a mix up with the time. So I apologize. Lauren. Oh, well, let me explain Lauren. I should do the Lauren explanation in the beginning.
Me and Lauren are good friends now because I got here an hour ago and we.
Okay, fucking shit.
Told you she'd
So
be jealous.
Lauren. Okay, Lauren. whatever. You said 4:30.
No,
I'm
I
telling you
didn't.
right now.
It's in writing, right here.
Right here. I'm going to
It's
look
in
at it
writing.
right now, you motherfucker.
Okay, motherfucker.
Really?
I'm taking a picture of it,
says
and I'm posting
4:30.
it.
I wrote 2. Okay.
I'm posting it
I have 4 o'clock.
on our Facebook. You have 4 o'clock because why? Because Judy sent you 4 o'clock?
I guess.
Yeah, that's so weird because she wouldn't let me send you 4 o'clock because she didn't want us to become friends.
No, I didn't know if Artie wanted you to have.
She didn't want us to be friends.
Is that why?
Yeah, I don't know if people
terrible.
want the
I'm
phone
also
number. Okay, so I'll do it. So Lauren,
a pathological stalker.
We don't. I heard a voice. Did you hear?
Okay.
All right. I hear another voice. All right. Anyway, so Lauren is trans.
Right.
You know, because I have to be
Former.
cool.
Right.
Transformer.
She's
I
a
was gonna say
he.
4 or what?
So he looks like a she, but she feels like she is a he. She's a guy.
Right.
Body's wrong,
Okay.
I mean,
but doesn't wanna.
debatable.
Doesn't wanna.
No operation.
Right.
Okay.
And here's part 3. Gets a lot of work as a trans woman. Like, you know, like a woman who.
You mean acting?
Yeah.
Okay.
So works both ways. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, it's something that must be a question on your mind I couldn't even relate to on any level.
Right.
I mean, my decisions in life are, should I take Route 3 or Route 46?
Right.
Or
should I take?
Well, that kind of decision that's got to really weigh heavy on you. And I admire strength that you must have for dealing with it. I mean,
It's just fight or flight. I mean, it's the strength every human has.
but
for
when did
dealing
you
with their-
realize that, though? At what age?
I knew I was a boy until someone told me I wasn't. So I mean, I guess around 6 or 7,
Right.
when my penis didn't grow
No,
in.
but you
and-
said that your mother said you had to cover your shirt. You
yeah,
had to wear
yeah.
a shirt.
I mean, little things like this. My mom was like, "Oh, you got to start wearing a shirt around the house because your boobs are gonna grow in." And I'm like, "Oh, what are you talking about? My boobs!"
Oh, man.
My body just started really. It didn't develop male; it stayed female, but despite my gender.
Right.
Where most dudes, are a lot of men, end up developing male. So.
And at 6 or 7, you got to deal with this.
Oh, I knew that. I knew it. I used to talk to my parents as if I were a boy, and they would back me up because it was cute,
Right. Well, yeah.
But I definitely really felt weird, being made to go in the girls' line as opposed to the boys' line. or
I
the
never
girls'
felt
bathroom.
like that.
Insane. Yeah.
I always made them call. I cut my hair off. I made them call me Robert. I don't
Oh,
know
is
where
that
the
tr- at
fuck-
what
and
age was
Ringo.
that?
Oh, like 4, 5, 6.
You're kidding me.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, and but I wanted to play with the boys because I wanted to do boy things. But
You're a little tomboy.
right, but I still liked having a vag
Yeah.
and boobs.
And I'm.
You did, though. So
Yeah,
you embrace that,
Yeah, but I do understand. I mean, I don't know the depths of being so miserable that you have to,
Yeah.
That's
another level.
Like you cannot. But I don't think gender identity and homosexuality are even close to being.
Well,
the
has
same
Bruce
thing.
Jenner proved that kind of? Like he says he's not homosexual.
Well, you have to
is-
call him Caitlyn now.
I'm sorry, Caitlyn.
Right,
So-
he's not a homo. You still are attracted to the.
Right, that's
sex
what I'm
you're
saying. So he
attracted
kind of
to.
proves what you just said.
Well,
Right,
wait a
like
minute.
Chaz
In every
Bono
way.
is a straight guy now.
Right. Okay.
And
Which would mean-
Caitlyn Jenner is annoying right now.
Again,
Who the fuck?
no, again,
I can't. You're the fucking hottest guy, athlete, and you are a woman. You feel like a woman. Fine. You proved yourself that you can-
Psychologically, though, it almost makes sense
Right.
that he would try to win the decathlon, do every masculine
Right,
thing
right.
there is, because he's trying to prove to himself, no, I am a man, maybe.
Right.
Despite
I did
these
that.
feelings, I'll go. I mean, winning the decathlon, that's just not being masculine. That's ancient Greek
Right,
stuff.
right.
That's not that's crazy.
But I don't like this fairy tale shit.
There's
going
very
on.
weird stuff going on with him beyond the operations, beyond.
And he's a Republican.
And a
Well, that's
Kardashian, and also, but we do
Wait.
need to start referring to her the way that
I know.
she is
I said
as her
Caitlyn.
gender. Yeah, but
No, I
you
know.
keep
Well, listen,
saying he.
that's the whole thing. I was born in 1967. I just need a couple of seconds to adjust.
Right,
to
I
it.
get it.
Sure.
I can just give you the
I was
guy who
born
won
in-
the decathlon
Right.
in 1976 is now a woman.
Right.
Just give me 2 seconds.
I mean,
that's all I need.
I'm 62. Yeah.
I don't hate anybody. I don't want
Right.
anybody to have a bad life because of it. Just give me a little second to go, all right, whoa, okay.
sure,
All
we
right.
had to adjust to seeing, same-sex people kiss each other. We're very visual.
Right, yeah.
We have to adjust our
That's a great way. It
thinking
is. It is a very
about-
visual society.
Yeah.
Now more than ever.
It's
you know?
always been
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
It's always been very visual. And it's
Well, I mean,
always
just
come
with
down to
technology,
skin.
every single person walking down the street has a camera.
I
Think
know,
about
that is
and not just like a video camera
It's-
and a photo album.
I went.
Everyone.
It's
does.
fucking ridiculous because I went yesterday. Elise and I went. Elise is my partner. She's
Right.
a lesbo.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, but if I was straight, I'd totally go for you. Anyway, I love big, hairy guys. I swear to God,
That's
I don't know why.
fantastic.
All right, but it's probably, would be good for you. Dan. Anyway, so
This is
We go-
queerest conversation.
shut
I've
up.
been-
So anyway, we go for we go for a thing. We found this garden. I said, "Oh, let's meditate," and then I
Right.
meditated and she didn't. And then we were just looking, like no phones. We saw this butterfly. We saw these 2 groundhogs, like eating like all this shit. We saw it was that sounds
Right.
It's like normally someone would say, "Oh, I see a butterfly. I have to fucking take a video of it."
Right.
Just I have it in my fucking head. Like, why does everyone have to record everything? Like, I go to kids shit, at the school, and everyone's just like looking through their fucking camera and not like paying attention to the kid. I fucking hate it.
Right.
Why does everyone have to record?
They're doing it right now.
I know. But here's the thing. Like, this is, I think society is, all right, so you're my generation. You're New Jersey.
Right.
Okay. I remember, first of all, I got here.
Sorry, could you say that again? I'm recording.
You know what? I'll do the jokes, and you do whatever the fuck I tell you to do. Anyway,
Yes, Miss.
so I grew up in New Jersey,
Yeah.
in the most
Clark of all places.
racist, awful town.
That is an accurate depiction
Yes.
of Clark. Yeah.
What did other people? Everyone thought.
I mean, I'm from Union, which is just a
Right.
mile away, and
Well, I
we were
lived
the
in
most
Elizabeth.
well,
Yeah.
that's inner city. So Union is in between the two, but Union is the single most integrated town in ever. Like Union High, 3,000 kids went there. We were 30% Irish, Italian, 30% black, 30% whatever else.
Right.
Not a lot of Jews in Union, but
Well, there was kosher stores there.
right. No, Union has.
We had to go to the kosher butcher there.
White kids got bussed into the black neighborhood for a
Right.
couple of years, so it won awards for that. So Clark was even though it was close geographically, the racism and everything was kind of foreign to us. Like wow, like it was almost
couldn't-
like Kentucky to us. Or something.
Yeah, I was born in Newark, lived in Elizabeth, and then we moved to Clark.
At what age you go to Clark?
I was 5.
Yeah, so you grew up in Clark.
I grew up in
Right,
Clark.
right.
And my mother grew up in Manhattan, and my father grew up in Perth Amboy. I never heard.
Were they progressive people?
Yeah,
would you
I
say?
never heard a racist thing out of their mouth.
Yeah, my
And
parents were
one
the
ti-
same way. But surprisingly enough, my old man was very street with that. He never, he didn't allow the N-word being said by my friends in
Right.
the yard. Like he thought that, my father was very street justice. He's like, if you can say that in the black neighborhood, you could say it here.
Did he hate? Did your father say anything about Jews? I always wonder that.
No, he didn't. That never really came up.
Yeah.
It never really came up.
My parents were so much older when they had me, so my father served in World War II. But it was all about everyone hating the Jews. Like, that was my whole fucking childhood. Everyone
your
hates
parents
us. They
were
all
that
hate
too?
us. They hate us. They hate us. They hate us. Yeah.
Well, listen, World War
It's
II.
true.
The thing about the Holocaust that's most scary about it, amongst the million scary things, is it wasn't that long
I
ago.
know. I think about that.
I
It
mean,
was
your
like,
father fought against it.
Right.
Think
it
about
was 17 years before I was born.
Yeah, that's not that long ago.
Right.
You think
And,
it was...
but it got shoved down so much in a way that it seems like it's like people want to make it seem so long ago.
My favorite argument is it wasn't 6 million, it was 2 million. First of all, that's bullshit. Second of all, we're supposed to go 2 million. What
I know, right?
What are we uptight about?
It was 6 million Jews and 5 million others, so it was 11 million.
I know, but even the 2
altogether.
million argument, I'm supposed to go, oh,
Shut
God,
the
we're
fuck
really
up.
overreacting.
I can't fucking believe Holocaust deniers. I want to fucking fucking smash
Well,
their face.
here's the other part about the closed-minded thing, the deniers of the Holocaust.
Right.
The other thing is the gay marriage thing. If these idiots who don't think you're born gay at this point are just like, I mean, my God. Who knows that better than a straight person, first of all? So if you're denying a gay person anything, it's just like denying someone that for being black because you're born that way.
Right. So
Who
I
doesn't
always
realize
say,
that?
That's why I always say, like, all those clergy and those politicians who say it's a choice.
They sound retarded.
But they obviously have made the choice. If they're so...
Exactly.
If they're so adamant, then because I didn't make a choice.
Right. Right, and a straight guy would probably know that better than anybody.
Right.
It doesn't seem like it's a choice.
And
to a
straight guys love watching two chickies together. You get off on that?
You know what? It's funny. Like I like watching heterosexual porn. You need something to relate to.
Right.
But
a lot of lesbos watch gay guys.
I watch
is that true?
Yeah.
Do you like that? Well, do you care about it or you don't care about it?
I don't even watch porn. I mean...
I'm not a porn guy either.
I'm not a porn person.
Yeah.
And like every comic now talks about porn.
Yeah.
Like that's like the...
I think that's like a trying to prove you're a guy thing.
Right. Yeah, watching porn. I'm watching porn.
Yeah, and like the fetish thing, like people who you have to build a deck before you have sex.
Right.
I don't get it. When do we have sex?
Yeah. All right.
So you're right. Clark, what we got into, like the way you were brought up, and
But I was surrounded by that in school. Like we saw the
it's confusing.
Right, and they knocked our fence down, and I was in synagogue. They shot. It was BB gun, but they shot it at our. We thought we were being fired at.
That is scary.
And they would put. I moved there in '68. Yeah, so '68. Swastikas on our garage. Yeah, and then it became all Jewy over there where I lived. So, an Italian, a lot of mob. It was just an Italian.
Well, that's true. That Union County's got a lot of the fellas.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the mob around.
Yeah, they're nice.
They're better people.
I know.
They're more honorable.
But, yeah, and then the other side, there were a lot of German, Polish people who just...
Union's got a lot of Germans in them.
Yeah.
But...
So, anyway, the point is that we're fucking...
Well, you said, like, the end of Schindler's List is the scariest thing when the guy goes, can we go east? They're like, no, they hate you there.
Yeah, right.
Can we go
I know.
People with everything they
all
own.
hate us.
Everything they own in a brown paper bag.
It's unbelievable. Like, because I used to say that to my mother's like, they hate us. It'll happen again. They hate us.
Did they really hammer it home to you? Well, listen, first of all, that's just, it was so not that long ago. I think that's just your mother being kind of making sense. Like, look, it might happen again.
Much sense.
It might happen again.
I just showed her this video like a couple months ago of this woman who's a child of Holocaust survivors, right? And she's a teacher in Pennsylvania.
Right.
She went to UPenn, Penn State. She went to Temple, Drexel. I guess they're all in Philly area.
That's all Philadelphia.
Yeah. And now you only have to teach the Holocaust in New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Florida, Chicago, and California.
It's mandatory, like, curriculum in the
right. And
the rest you don't have
6 or 7.
Wow.
So she went Penn. We're talking UPenn, Penn,
Ivy League.
right?
Right.
Interviewing these kids. What is a concentration camp? When was the Holocaust?
Right.
I think it was like 18. Like, it was unbelievable.
That's what people
went
think,
on and on.
1800.
These fucking Ivy League kids. And she said, "Where did you grow up?" Pennsylvania.
Right.
She got 2 kids from Jersey. At the very end, knew everything. Right. It was mandatory. Went to the Holocaust meeting. Like, who the fuck decides? Like, that's why my kids are in public school. I know I have to teach them shit too, but you don't not teach about slavery.
No, you have to.
You don't teach. How can you teach
It's
World
an
War
enormous
II?
part of American history.
Right.
People are also not teaching about slavery nowadays. It's
Right.
I think it's
you know what?
This comes
We're
from the
different
government.
Generation.
Yeah, no, that's true.
It's true. I don't want, like, they have all these fucking tests. I didn't make him take them, the regents and all that shit. All right, anyway, I have to talk. I have so much I want to talk to you about. Okay, so, Artie.
Yeah.
first of all, I just wanted to go back to the original story of how I got here, and I didn't have a fucking photo ID because I rode my bike and I forgot to.
Yeah, this is a very hard building. We're in the
Right.
CBS building. It's a very difficult building to get into.
Now, meanwhile, if I open my bag, I do. I am a Jew, so I always carry my health insurance card, no matter what.
Right.
Okay, so I can't get in the building. Cigna, Judy Gold. SAG-AFTRA, Judy Gold.
Yeah, I know. What else do you need?
Judy Gold, Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. AFTRA Health Dental Fund, Judy Gold. Judy Gold, Lifetime Writers Guild of America's East, Judy Gold.
Humble brag.
No, I'm just saying.
Well, first of all,
Freelancers Union, Judy Gold. What the fuck else?
do you not have a driver's license?
No, I do. It's in my other fucking wallet. Anyway, so, but I remember, I don't know if you ever did this when you went on the road, but I remember like years ago, you could, like in the late 80s,
Right.
you could take someone's plane, like, I can't go to this gig.
Absolutely.
Artie,
Yeah.
here's my plane ticket.
You
No
take
one
it for me.
fucking
Yeah.
checked your name or anything.
It was very, very lax compared to now.
My parents used to walk me to the plane door.
Yeah.
That was great.
Right.
It's
Where-
unbelievable.
To where you wouldn't, you really wouldn't believe it. But then now with computer stuff, you know,
I think it's
like just on your phone, it's like it is better security, but in some ways it isn't.
right. And
you know?
there's no privacy. Better security, no privacy.
Right.
Okay, so here's what I really...
It's harder to get into a Yankee Twin game than on a plane. You know,
This is
Exactly.
all
It's-
part of the
which doesn't
plan.
make-
Right.
My animal friends.
Shut.
Lauren has an agenda.
Yeah.
No, I
Now,
don't. The government does.
Artie, I have to talk. All right. This is all selfish, and I do have a lot of kill me now. Like I wanted to fucking kill them downstairs. That was a total kill me now moment. Like fuck, like because I wanted to kill myself for not remembering, and then I wanted to kill myself for fucking Osama bin Laden.
Right.
Like he fucked up my life. Anyway,
He did.
yeah. So your dad died. Like I have to talk about all the depressing shit because I suffer from clinical depression.
Right.
And until I had a major episode, had no idea. And I thought about you
Right.
because I thought I know.
I've had enough episodes. I
Yeah.
could have syndication.
Yeah, but I thought, oh my, it fucking changes you like nothing else.
Yeah.
Like it fucking, people don't understand it at all. So do you feel like your life was okay until your father had that accident?
Well, looking back, no, because again, that's the other part about being from our generation. Therapy was not a thing.
Right.
There was no money for it anyway,
Right.
and I didn't think it was something to do. But you know, my father was a very big, important male figure in my
Right.
life, and I thought everything he did was perfect, and it wasn't. And it's hard to admit that later on in life.
Well, I think you can admit it when you're like 40 or 50.
Later on,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
if
not-
I think if I had gotten the therapy that I ended up getting in rehab early on in my life, it would have been better to deal with. Yeah, he fell off a roof.
Putting in an antenna.
He installed antennas for a living, climbed roofs, and fell 30 feet on his head and became a quadriplegic. He stole the ladder that he was working with. My father, he was a thief. A petty criminal, and it took me a long time to say that sentence out loud, but
Right.
that's what he did. He hooked up illegal cable, and he always had a scam going. When I was born, he was on trial for holding counterfeit money for low-level wise guys.
Right.
$200,000 was on our refrigerator in the back, and the FBI found it. One of his ex-girlfriends
Wow.
ratted him out, and he was looking at 15 years. And the
Right.
lawyer said, "Bring your newborn son to the court."
Right, yeah.
And we could show him to the jury, and he'll get sympathy.
And you got your father?
Yeah, I did. I helped him out from that. The jury found him not guilty.
You must have been so cute.
Yeah, well, I was adorable. Yeah.
But
So from that point on, and then he was my hero my whole life. But I had all those warped values, very North Jersey warped
Right.
values.
I know what you're talking about.
It's all right to steal certain things from certain people. If you could steal like a hammer from Sears, they got a bunch of money. What do you
Right,
care?
right,
Got no
right,
money.
right.
And
That is very North Jersey.
ripping off cable.
Right.
He taught me and three guys from the neighborhood when we were 14 years old how to steal cable we got HBO for the whole block. They put a filter on top of the telephone pole that would block HBO, and my old man, through one of the guys who install cable, found out if you boil it for a half an hour, it renders it useless.
No way.
So he would send us to the top. We'd get as many of the filters as we could. We'd boil them for a half an hour, reinstall them. So when the inspector came, they saw them, but they didn't work. The signal for HBO went right through them.
Oh my God!
And my father charged them $400, like one-time fee for HBO for a lifetime.
Brilliant.
And so
that is really
but and he would give us $50, me and my buddies. So that's how I grew up. And then at 18, this guy who I thought was Superman falls off a roof, and I find out literally he can't fly. He's not Superman, and he should have died, but he didn't. For 4.5 years, he was a quadriplegic, and
do you think he was...
we went on welfare because of it. My mother had to work.
But you did your mother work at all when you were growing up?
She was a secretary for a while, but then my father, being real old school, was like, "No, you're not working. Take care of the kids."
No way.
That type of thing.
And you have what do you have? A sister?
I have one sister. She's 15 months younger, so we're real close. Just one sister.
Does she have kids?
No. She went through a lot too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Listen, my sister was just starting her junior year in high school. It should have been the 2 best years of her life when my father fell. And he falls. We go on welfare. He's in our living room at home, not able to move from the neck down.
Awful.
And he ended up killing himself. He would ask me to kill him every week.
Yeah.
He would say, "Just get a gun and shoot me in the head." And he was delirious. I go, "Dad, I'm going to do life in prison."
Right. But I think that...
I said if I could do it without getting caught, I would have killed him. So, and that was very much that street shit that a friend of his from Newark, who's now dead, I still won't say the guy's name, but he's gone, killed him, gave him pills one night.
Right.
And we didn't find that out till years later.
Were you pissed about that?
If I saw the guy today, I'd hug him.
Yeah.
He put my father out of his misery. Yeah.
I believe that you should be able to fucking die when you're
He couldn't do it anymore. He couldn't do it anymore. And my mother was literally dying from being tired. She
oh my God.
Yeah, we had Medicare paid for 8 hours of a nurse. The nurse would leave at 5 o'clock. My mother would get home from being a secretary. She would start taking care of him all night. I did what I can, but the drugs, the drinking, and the gambling really escalated.
Right.
And I was falling in with bad people. I didn't go to college, and I became a longshoreman at the Port of Newark.
I know. I read that.
Oh,
I unloaded
badass.
orange juice trucks at the Port of Newark, and that you don't find that job in the paper.
No.
I literally went down there and I said, "Jimmy sent me," and I got a check for 2 years.
Right. Ha ha ha.
And I was borrowing from Shylocks to pay bookies.
Right.
And I was really in bad shape. So I got arrested a lot. My mother was worried about that.
But that's all you knew. That's what you knew.
Yeah, it was.
Do you think
comedy saved my life?
Do you? And you're fucking hilarious.
And I'm sure you have a similar, you feel that probably in your head too, or at least made you a happier person.
Well, I don't honestly. There's
you don't know what
nothing
you do
else.
With that, right?
I think I would die if I wasn't a stand-up.
I agree with you. It saved my life.
And all these people who get on and they're like, "Hey, I'm funny, I'm good looking, I have 7 minutes. Let's write a show for me."
I know, and that's what a lot of it is. Yeah.
I can't live. I'm going on stage today. I can't fucking wait to talk about my mother dying.
Right.
You know?
Because that's you. You wouldn't know how to do hacky shit.
No, never.
You wouldn't know how to do it. You'd actually be bad at it. You know what I mean? Right.
You guys are the ones that have made the jokes that have become hack. Those are original ideas to begin with.
Well, but
then
now...
Right, and then they become... Well, but people take them and make them so unoriginal and annoying, you want to strangle them.
And
But you're right. That's a good observation.
Yeah, I watch your early stuff.
I just had it.
Those are original jokes.
I was like... I feel like, because we're the same generation, I was like one of the guys, because I didn't want to fuck anyone. I just wanted to get on stage, and it wasn't, it was just about the work.
I've never not had a good time when you were around. That's probably the best.
Oh, fucking A, Artie Lange! Look at my arm fat!
No, Judy is one of the comics that when you're about to leave the Comedy Cellar, if she walks in, you want to stay longer.
Okay,
that's the truth. That's probably the best compliment I get.
love you so
I've
much.
never not laughed and felt better when you were around, Judy. That's the God's honest truth.
I love you.
Well, it's true, and I feel the same way about other, Colin Quinn and all those guys.
Colin. I know.
Yeah. But you're in that category for me. Absolutely.
I love you.
Yeah.
I always related to you on so many levels.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
All right, wait. I have to delve into your... So, like, do you feel like your father was a better father when he was a quadriplegic?
You know what? No one's ever asked me that question before. Even in therapy, that's really fascinating. You know what? On a certain level, look, he couldn't physically hit me from those.
Right. He couldn't do all that
because
shit.
Because the best thing about my father pre the fall was he spent time with me.
Right.
He was a fucked up role model in a lot of ways, where he taught me fighting is better if you're a pussy if you don't do
but
this.
That's
blah,
what
blah.
he knew.
That's what he knew. But he did. I knew guys whose father, they didn't know their fathers.
Right.
We played baseball every Sunday, blah, blah, blah. All right, there's that. But I think philosophically, emotionally, after he fell, he was a better father.
Yeah.
If I really... Gun to my head, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because he was there.
Because he started to believe in stuff. Like, he was never... My mother was that real Italian, religious, church-going thing.
Oh, that's my neighbors.
My father would get me, like at work, we'd be on a roof, he'd go, there's nothing up there. He goes, go to church for your mom, but there's nothing up there.
Right.
He goes, you're dying, there's nothing.
Right.
After he fell, he really started... this guy, Monsignor Koenig, started to come and visit him every Sunday. And my father really felt that God gave him a chance to go through hell on earth and change a little bit, almost like the Scrooge story.
Right.
Now, whether that's bullshit or not, or whether people think that's corny or not, it helped him, and he changed. So he said, he goes, I don't know, or maybe I was wrong, and maybe you should believe in that stuff a little bit. Maybe find something out there that's greater than you.
But I feel like,
and that way, that's a great question. Yeah, in that way, he was a better father.
You had like 4.5 years.
That I got to talk to him.
And always knowing where he was.
Yeah, that's true, right?
And that you could go home to him and talk to him about it.
That's interesting too. I always knew where my old man was, where there was mysteries at time. And,
right.
And my mom was very nervous about telling certain things about him afterwards, but in therapy they came out, and there's stuff that he did that even surprised me.
Right.
That was typical of a guy who grew up on the street in Newark.
Right.
He got to the 9th grade in high school and dropped out. And but yeah, I knew where he was. And it's funny, if he fell off that roof and died, and he got his last rites, he almost died.
Right.
I wouldn't have gotten those 4.5 years.
Right.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's what
I just wish I could have used them more to beat my demons. And that sounds selfish.
No, but you're fucking 18 years old. You're so unaware of that
but
shit.
I wish I was smarter. I feel like such a sucker having let drugs beat me. Because there's people not, there's people not as talented as me, and I've never said this publicly, but there's people not as talented as me that have skyrocketed.
Oh my God!
Because of
fucking A!
Because I'm a drug addict.
Sound effects. Fucking A! Put some fucking sound.
Because I'm a junkie.
Yeah, but I'm a fucking.
Yeah.
I have gotten in my own way, so because I sit in therapy and I'm like, what the fuck, like. I am really smart and really fucking talented. I'm not a hack. I never fucked anyone to get to the top. What is it? And my therapist is like, it's you. It's fucking you. It's this guilt. It's this, if I do this, I'm disloyal to that one. This constant fucking shut up in my head to shut the fuck up.
I can't do that. That's where clinical depression comes.
But you're real artists. You're real storytellers, and that's actually a born thing. It's not a learned thing. I feel like when it's a learned thing, people have a leg up in the business at times, especially nowadays, because it's just like,
also
but you guys, you need things to be perfect. You know how it's supposed to be done, and you have integrity, and that's a downfall in this.
But the problem is shutting your fucking head up. Like,
you can't.
Like,
it's
you
impossible.
do drugs.
Right.
I smoke weed. Right. I ran a marathon. I would run 15 miles.
See, I'm envious of that. I wish I could do that. I wish that was my addiction.
I can't fucking walk. I got a fake knee, and the other one's fucked up.
It's better than being a junkie.
Right. You chose that. But, I was really destructive to myself, too. I wish I could go play basketball with my kids. I missed a fucking gig once.
Right.
Because there was a storm coming in. I had to go to Boston, right? Or New Hampshire. And they said, if you leave now, you'll make it. If you wait. And I was like, I have to run. I didn't run today. It's like this fucking...
You're obsessed with it.
It's like...
You have obsessive compulsive disorder, which can also act...
And I have ADD.
Right.
Which is also like a drug.
Right. So
absolutely.
And I feel like I would have been so much like I went to school. I did very well. I mean, I did okay. I mean, I was in the top 10% of my class.
That's
I
amazing.
But I read maybe 2 books.
Did you go to Clark High or did you go to another school?
No, I went to ALJ and I went to Rutgers.
And you went to Rutgers, okay.
Yeah, and so the only thing I could focus on was music. I played piano and that's what I ended up
Something else I wish I could do. Yeah.
You could do it now,
I mean,
Artie.
if I could play Night Moves by Bob Seger on guitar, I'd never leave my apartment.
But you could. But the thing is like, you know, I feel like you had a blessing in those 4+ years.
That's, you know what, Judy, thanks for saying that, because that's the most positive way to look at it.
Yeah.
And that's the positive I have to take out of it. And it took me a long time to find any positive.
Yeah, but I think
that is the positive. I got 4.5 years to talk.
To him, you know?
To see him.
And then, is your mother alive?
Yeah, she's still a strong woman.
Yeah.
That's a strong woman.
But, all right, so this is what I don't understand about guys. You're a guy, straight guy,
right.
Jersey. You have a strong mother.
Right, absolutely.
And you adore her, and you look up to her, and you respect her.
I do.
And yet, you can look at a chick and be like, I want to fuck that whore in the ass, you know.
It's a natural thing, I guess. I mean, I don't know, you know.
We're also not necessarily walking up to them and telling them that.
No, but I get, you know what I mean?
No, I mean, listen, I've also made, and I'll run with this for you, I've made horrible decisions relationship-wise.
Really? What's the longest?
Based on lust.
Right.
In
What's
the beginning.
The longest?
Oh, the longest I've ever been with a woman is 6 years.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I've been engaged twice.
And did you want to marry that person, or did you just want to be married?
The last one I destroyed. She was a sweetheart. The last one, and drugs ruined it.
Yeah,
absolutely. She did the smart thing in leaving, and I told her when, you know, because a lot of these women, especially with show business, especially in my Stern years, my life was a hurricane on the road and back and blah blah blah. You know how it is on the plane, and for a while, girls or your partner, whoever, you know, they're addicted to that life. They love it.
Right.
They love, you know, I got to go to Conan, and they're backstage at Letterman, and I hear at a theater, and I hear at a club.
Right. They start resenting it, right?
Yeah, and then maybe that's exactly right. Resentment. Maybe they want to have
jealousy.
They want to have that in their life, and you know, in the beginning they want to come to Cleveland to a gig because it's exciting. But in the end, maybe I'm not
going there.
I'll go to Miami, not Cleveland.
I know. That's what Elisa does. She's like, I'm done with those shit. I'm going to Alaska.
Right.
I want to go to this. I said, are you coming to the Hamptons in August? Oh yeah, I'm going to that one.
Right.
And then there's shitty ones but here's the thing.
So I've based on what you just said, I've wasted a lot of time. I wish I could have the last one back, but a couple were just not good for me, and I should have seen it. You know, I should have seen it.
But
and it was based totally on ridiculous lust. Like, you know.
But you don't fucking know. We're so so when I had, how many depressions have you had?
Where it crippled me, where I would say 3, solid 3, to where one lasted 1.5 years.
Mine lasted like over 2 years.
And thank God this was after I had made some money.
Yeah.
And I really 2 years? Oh wow.
Well, the thing is, the heaviness was almost too. I had diurnal depression, which is like I'm fine at night when the sun goes down.
Same way, yeah.
Right?
I'm the same way.
Sun goes down, I'm like, oh. And then during the day, couldn't get out of the chair. Like, couldn't take my kid to school.
You know, my theory, and see, if you have children, I've never been through that.
Yeah, oh my God.
Because that's heartbreaking. You're looking at your kid, you want to raise this.
Right.
You're responsible for this human being, and you can't even, but to me, the reason for that is at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, no one expects anything of anybody. It's a perfect excuse. Like, you can't help your buddy move.
It's over.
It's 3 a.m., I can't help you move.
Right.
Why? Because it's 3 a.m. You got the perfect excuse.
So you don't
there's
owe
no
anyone
pressure.
So you don't owe anyone anything.
There's
That's
no pressure.
kind of true. That's kind of true.
At 2 in the afternoon, you got no fucking excuse.
I'm sorry, I have to interject.
Go ahead.
You just connected so many things in my own brain by saying that. Like, I feel like I just had a therapy session right now.
That's amazing.
Like,
well, it's simple, but it's
who's the host and who's the sidekick? So I just wanted to know that.
You're the host.
That's what I said.
I got very excited.
All right, but anyway, but it's true. It's like I feel this, but then I feel creative, and I want to, and that my life begins at that point.
Right. at night.
And yet you're so in the society of like, if you don't get this done during the day and this one closes at 6 o'clock, it's like, fuck you.
I know. I want to do it. And comics very much want to march to their own drummer.
Right.
We really want to create our own time. And
which brings me back to those people who, are A-list, who have shot up, who aren't true storytellers, but they're able to get up in the day and work those daytime hours. And early bird gets the worm and do all the fucking
and you can't
shit.
blame them because you're like, look, they
that's easier.
They did
easier.
it. They were able to do it, and
I can't do it.
And if they're able to do it, fine.
But
then
here's the thing.
I'm the fucked up one.
But you guys have a following that is so strong and so core and so. I think the followings that you guys have. You've got loyal fans who they feel as though you've helped raise them.
But that doesn't mean anything if you can't get to a gig because you're in withdrawals. It doesn't matter.
But here's the other thing. Did you know how this is true too? Like I'll walk around, people are like, oh my God, Judy, and oh my God, I love you. You really, oh my God, that bit, and they'll just, or read this or that, and then. Like, I'm sure you get, people who've been to rehab. Thank you so much for being so open. Like, I get gays, I get gay Jews, I get,
trannies.
And tranny. And so, and I want to say, and even when you go to like gigs and there's like major actors who've gone to conservatory, and, and they're like, oh my God, you're so funny. I just spit. Anyway. I want to say, I feel like, I feel a little validated, but then I want to say, I have one bathroom. I hate myself. I had a fucking waffle with, I
have one bathroom.
Yeah, my desk is a mess. Like, I want to just say, no, you don't know. I'm a fucking mental patient. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you're going to be found out.
Yeah.
Right. Eventually, if you, I always like it. Like relationships are good from a distance. I always feel if you hang out with me long enough, you're gonna find all my bullshit.
Right. So, your bit, I was listening to one bit. First of all, Pandora, Artie Lange radio. It only has guys on it.
I don't know what that is. What?
Oh, so I put you in Pandora.
Oh, okay.
And I was working out, and I was like, I'm listening to Artie. And there's that one bit about being about how in rehab you're like the counselor. And the guy came in and said he kidnapped his best friend
on Angel Dust.
Yeah, for Angel Dust.
He kidnapped his best friend's baby and sold it for Angel Dust. True story.
And then the leader, the
counselor didn't say anything. The counselor looked at me and said, "Artie, feedback."
That's my fun. Artie, feedback.
Artie, feedback. Like feedback.
It was so...
I failed gym. What am I going to say to this guy?
Right.
You're the one with the diploma.
They're like, you're the most fucked up person we've ever
That's
met.
what they do.
And you're still alive.
Right, group therapy is they ask me to take care.
So you're going to engage with him.
Right.
Did you become friends with him?
I sort of knew him there. I didn't keep the relationship going.
Have you kept any relationships with people?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Like...
I talk about bad decisions. I dated a girl once I met in rehab. That ended poorly.
Why is that a bad thing?
No, it because we both weren't ready for that situation.
You can co-sign each other's addictions easier.
Yeah, it's not good because you need for a while you need someone who's sensible.
Now,
but I still have a couple of buddies, guy friends I talk to.
Does getting a laugh on stage equal the high from any drug?
No.
Right?
Some drugs, not heroin.
Right.
No, listen, it comes close, though. It comes close. The problem... But the problem with getting a laugh is the same problem as with any drug. It's the come down.
Right.
It's it's not going to last.
Right.
So what do you do to make it last?
Right.
And that's where the drugs came in for me. And I remember the first time I tried heroin, I was on the road, and
did you consciously go, "Oh my God, I'm fucking trying heroin"?
I said, well, I
am fucking. I never thought because I grew up in Jersey. They had those. Remember those things they used to show at school?
Sure,
you smoke pot, and it was like. And there was like
Reaper
all the people
madness.
were fucking
yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm never smoking pot. Cut to 15 years old. But I just did you think, okay, I started with weed. Did you start with weed?
Yeah, sort of. I was never a big weed guy. If someone had it, I would smoke it. I never bought weed.
Okay.
In the 90s and the late 80s, my life became chaotic because of cocaine.
Right.
And after I got a break, I got on the show Mad TV.
Right.
I go out to L.A. I did a month and a half in L.A. County jail for possession of coke. I took a swing at an L.A. cop with an 8-ball in my pocket. This is 96.
Right. That's the only way to take a swing at a cop.
No, I know, bad move. And I was in L.A. County for a while. And Quincy Jones, who produced Mad TV, let me simmer in there for a while because he knew I had a detax. He let me detox in L.A. County, showering. He was showering in between a blood and a crip who were mad at each other. That's a fucking,
no way.
That's a come to Jesus moment.
That is fucking no way.
I was never more happy to be fat and bad looking in my life. I'm in the shower. I'm in the shower. The guy's coming out to me. Is that Blair Underwood over there? So I did real time.
Do they really? Honestly, do they like just fuck each other in the ass?
I never saw a rape, but it was just county jail.
Oh, all right.
It wasn't like, but there was a system, and because I was on Mad TV, I got my own cell. I was on a TV show.
Oh,
that was
they
the
have
best.
TV cells.
Yeah. Well,
Nice.
they let me because I was, a G-list celebrity.
And so like the bed is shit, right? It's shit, right?
Well, it's not even a bed. It's a piece of iron that they put a thing on.
And the food was shit.
The food is like noodles with brown gravy.
And did you talk to anyone?
The guy right next to me, I became friendly with. He had been in that cell for 9 years awaiting a murder trial, and he was a born-again Christian.
Oh, God. Did he do it?
David Berkowitz?
I don't know what happened. He claimed no.
Do they say?
But
any pedophiles in there?
Not that I saw. They weren't in what they call general population. They weren't there. But it's so funny. You talk about bad days. I had the orange jumpsuit on. Yeah. And in April of '96, I shot a scene in the movie Jerry Maguire.
Right. I know this story.
I was in a scene with Tom Cruise and Kelly Preston. I thought it was funny and everything, and I told everybody in my life I want to be in Jerry Maguire. So 6 months later, we're shooting the second season of Mad TV. I get arrested for possession of coke because I had been in Vegas for 5 days gambling. I came back. I was up for 5 days. I'm in L.A. County. I convinced one of the guards, who I became friendly with, to let me check my answering machine after I had to call my mother because she was going crazy.
Right.
So the second call was I had to check my answering machine because I owed a bookie in Staten Island $15,000.
Right.
And I wanted to touch base with him and say, look, I'm going to get out and I'll pay you. Don't think you. I don't want to beating up someone in my family.
Right.
So I checked my answering machine. The second message is Cameron Crowe, and I'm in the jumpsuit. And there's like a guard with a gun waiting for me to finish the phone call. The second message is Cameron Crowe. He goes, Artie, listen, hope you're doing well. It's Cameron Crowe. The scene didn't work out. We had to cut it out of the film. So you're not in the movie, but you were great. It just didn't work. It was nothing you did. I
love when they say that.
Maybe we'll work together in the future. Thank you. And he hung up. And I looked at the guard. I said, dude, I'm having a shit week.
Oh, my. It's such a fucking showbiz story.
Yeah, I had an orange jumpsuit on.
I mean, that would be so great. That would be such a great Mad TV skit.
That
you're like,
Well, I told the story on Stern. I think that story got me the job on Howard. He loved it so much.
I love that your father loved Howard, and then you know.
My father turned me on to Howard.
I love Howard.
Someone needs to do like a rewrite of There's No Business Like Show Business.
Oh, that
with
is
your story.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But that really was.
When they say, it wasn't anything.
It wasn't anything
you did. Yes, it was.
I guess it was great. You wouldn't cut it out.
It was nothing I did, and we're gonna work together. No, we're not. We're never gonna fucking work together.
And Tom Cruise, that motherfucker, he's about 4'8", first of all.
Right.
And
I know.
I did the script. I was so nervous. I memorized it like verbatim.
Right.
And before I step in, him and Kelly Preston are having a fight at the NFL draft. And there's a pause before I come in.
Right.
So I took the pause every time.
Right.
I guess he didn't realize that. So after I do it twice, Cruise in front of the whole crew looks at me and goes, real military the way he is. He goes, "Can you come in quicker, please?" Screams at me.
Right. I can see that.
The whole place
that.
is like, oh God, Tom Cruise.
Did you watch the Scientology thing?
Yeah. And none of that. After meeting him, none of that surprised me.
Yeah.
He seems like a lunatic. You
Right.
know, but
he seems like not a human being.
Right.
Like a product.
He's not a person.
Right.
Well, his mental illness really fits in perfectly with that cult.
Right. Well, that's a good way to put it. I would think so. But Cameron Crowe, I think, realized. Cameron Crowe was real sweet. He pulled me aside. He goes, "Listen, just do it the way he wants to do it."
Right.
But I'm going to explain to him it was in the script and you were doing it right, which he did. I did it the way Cruz wanted it. And afterwards he went, thank you.
Oh, God.
Like a robot.
Oh,
Was
God.
he
Thank you.
But just the idea of being in that jumpsuit and getting that message, I was like, this is
When he
this
jumped
is
on
life.
that fucking couch, I was like, no one jumps on the couch.
Are
It's
you
like,
that
I'm in love.
I mean, first of all,
who the fuck does that?
you know the pussy Tom Cruise should have
Don't
been getting?
protest too much.
Yeah.
The pussy Tom Cruise should have been getting. Katie Holmes, he's jumping on a couch about.
Right.
Katie Holmes should be a distant memory of a blowjob he got on the set of Risky Business.
That's hilarious.
He's jumping on a couch. When you get to the end zone, act like you've been there before, Tom.
They still think I'm hetero.
Fucking Tom Cruise. I'm fucking Katie Holmes, Oprah. You're Tom Cruise. If I was fucking Katie Holmes, I might get excited.
Right.
I might do a fist bump.
He is.
Tom Cruise is jumping on a couch for banging a chick who everyone in Dawson's Creek probably fucked.
Well, he was told he got to actually bang Dawson if.
Oh, of
I'll
course.
do
allowed
the
to marry her.
jokes, Lauren.
Yeah,
I'll
yes.
do the jokes.
Rosario
Yes, miss.
Dawson's Creek. I
I'll do
pitched
the
that.
taglines
Yes,
and I'll
miss.
do the jokes.
I apologize.
Taglines and jokes.
I pitched Rosario Dawson's Creek at Mad TV.
All right. So when you get up in the morning, Artie,
Yeah. Or the
do
afternoon.
you whenever you get up?
No, I get up in the morning now.
Yeah. Is the first thing you think about drugs?
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, I think about, maybe not the first thing, but every day I think about
Well,
it.
of course.
Sure, yeah. Heroin is a very, there's been songs written about it. There's been novels written about it. There's been like Miles Davis and Charlie Parker, those jazz guys. I love reading those biographies.
Right.
Actually, Miles Davis is his biography is one of the things that helped me get off heroin, because the only way to do it is cold turkey. Like, you have to have some sort of spiritual experience.
Right.
And Miles Davis, people don't realize this, he's a middle-class kid. His father was a dentist, and he grew up in St. Louis, kind of a kid of privilege.
Right.
And Charlie Parker, another heroin addict, was his hero in jazz. Met Charlie Parker when he was like 18, started going on the road with him, wanted to play like Charlie Parker, so started shooting up heroin.
Right.
Directly into his veins. For 7 years, he's a heroin addict, and he was smart enough after Parker died to realize, I have to get off this. But he goes to he gets done doing a gig in L.A. He takes a train halfway across the continent, goes to a barn where his father's farm is, goes to a room above the barn, and his father says, all I can give you now is my love. You have to do the rest by yourself. And for 7 days, he locked himself in a room and went through the hell of withdrawals. And 7 days later, he came out, and the sun was shining, and he described it as like, I got through this, and he never touched it again. And I started to realize I have to do that. You can't have methadone, you can't have this other thing, Suboxone. You gotta have. And the last time I did it, I saw shit. I saw my old man. I saw my.
How long ago?
This is the last time I officially got off. It was 2.5 years ago.
Right.
And it finally got in my head that I can't do this anymore.
Right.
If I know I have to go through this.
So
again.
you go back to that feeling every time you.
Yeah.
Like you have to recall that.
You have
I
to.
can't do that. Now. All right, I have to know this. What does it feel like when you're on heroin?
I haven't heard anybody accurately describe it, because it's that.
Does it feel like anything else in your life? Like, can you?
Is it a sleepy feeling at all?
Eventually it is. Eventually it is.
But what is it like in your brain? Like,
it's just, I don't know. You feel like there's nothing you can't do. You feel like
invincible.
You feel invincible. You feel like there's nothing that will ever make you sad again.
right,
You feel like you can deal with anything.
right.
And everything's great.
And when you come off it, when you're coming off it,
That's the direct opposite. Every little thing.
it's like exaggerated.
every little
shit.
thing is hell.
right.
Every dark thing in life is exaggerated.
Right.
And amplified by a billion.
Right.
And it's depression on a level that, because you very much got to get it out of your head.
Right.
Charlie Parker said that they can get it out of your body, they can't get it out of your brain.
Right.
You remember the high.
So you do have high recall.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you could get addicted to just knowing you're going to get it.
Right.
You just
I know. They say,
seeing
like-
the dealer on the corner, I would start to get high.
Right.
If I was in withdrawals and I saw the dealer, I would feel better.
Yeah, like I remember when I smoked cigarettes, like all of the
Which is one of the hardest drugs to get off
right,
of, too. Yeah.
right. So I remember getting the cigarettes,
Right.
taking that little cellophane off, packing it,
Right.
right?
The packing always looks fun to me.
opening it,
Yeah,
and then
sure.
pulling that silver
You're
thing
gonna get
off
it
and
fixed.
smelling. I mean, that was all part of the...
Kurt Cobain talks about getting a high just from the needle prick.
Yeah.
Like if his dealer was late or he couldn't find them, he would take out the needle and just hit his skin without anything in it, because that would give him 4 seconds of
Right.
You know.
My friend, I don't know if you remember Carol Henry. She was a comic.
I know that name.
Yeah, so Carol Henry died of AIDS in 90.
Did she get it from a needle?
Yeah, so remember her, Rick Avila's and
Yeah,
all
oh,
those.
sure, yeah.
So Carol was a good friend of mine, very funny.
Did you know Rick well?
Yeah, I knew Rick.
Okay, I got a great. You probably know the story, but after you tell us, I want to see if you know
So,
this. Rick Avila's story.
Yeah. Hey, didn't he infect a waitress at the cellar?
I think he might have. Yeah. It's,
Anyway, well, Carol said to me, because I was asking, like, she got AIDS and, died. I said, she goes, I remember exactly when I contracted AIDS. She said,
she knew it.
she went to this guy's apartment. They went in the bathroom. She's like, I have to. And he's like, all right, got it. They were in the, one was in the bathtub.
Right.
And he said, like, here, use my needle. She's like, no, I don't want to use your needle. And he's like, just use it. And she knew she shouldn't use the needle.
But she
knew.
get
But
high.
it was that heroin,
She had
that
to
need,
get
yeah.
I can
and she
relate
knows
to
she
that.
infected herself.
I can
But wait, tell me the Rick Avila story, and then I have to hear about the DT.
Supposedly, he was coming back from a gig, and he's driving over the George Washington Bridge,
Right.
and cops pull him over. They find heroin in his car,
Right.
and he tells them he's a comedian coming back from a gig, and supposedly the cop said, "Listen, we're going to shine the lights, 4 a.m. on the George Washington Bridge. We're going to shine the lights on your hood. Get up and do like 5 minutes of stand-up.
No fucking way!
If you make us laugh, we'll let you go." So supposedly Avila's got up and did 5 minutes, and supposedly killed, and they let him go. That's a story I heard about Rick Avila.
He killed?
That's what I heard.
That is fuck. I don't know what jokes I would do for. The fuck? I can't do my
Imagine
mother
going over your
jokes.
set list.
I know. Hey, I'm a big Leslie.
I got a cop spot.
Yeah, right.
And he said they were the Irish Met fans from Queens, like the kind of cops like
that is
right out of the
fucking
academy.
hilarious.
For people who don't know, Rick Avilas is the guy who kills Patrick Swayze in Ghost.
Yeah.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
Good, but well, it's funny. I never shot it. I would get quality stuff, because I got a bad habit after I started making money.
Right.
So I would get shit delivered. It would cost me an extra $3,000 from these Dominicans in Washington Heights, and it would be white or brown, depending on they call it China white. It was strong enough to snort or smoke. But there was a stripper I was dating outside of Philly. And she lived in this little apartment. She used to deal out of the apartment.
Right.
And one of the things she featured with her customers was she always had clean needles.
Right.
And
that's a good feature.
well, yeah, pretty much.
Very good feature.
So
I have Cheryl.
I'm asleep on the couch.
Right.
I'm asleep on the couch. I thought I was dreaming it. I see her getting a needle ready for me. She's got the bottle cap, and I thought she's going to shoot up. I saw her take it out of the bag, and she just comes towards me, and she hits it, not in my vein. She did what they call skin poppy. She hit me with the needle. I had never done that before. And I got up, I wanted to strangle her. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And then the high hit me.
Right.
And I was like, oh. I sat down. I went from wanting to kill her to like, what do you want to talk about? She goes, I love the
First
show.
taste is free.
She goes, I love the show Law and Order. We talked about Law and Order for
Oh
like 10
my
hours.
God, that's hilarious.
And I just sat there, and
Was she Jewish
I
with the
never
sterile
did it again.
needles?
She was very not Jewish.
Oh, all right.
But yeah,
She must have had was her apartment clean?
no,
But she had sterile needles.
yeah. Because,
If you want sterile needles, I would go to the stripper.
But I've been on
Yeah.
Stern for like 4 years at this
Yeah.
point. Like her customers would come in and go, "Is that Artie Lange?"
Right. All right.
I
so-
left her place at like 4 in the morning sometimes to get to work. Like that's how I would go to work.
my
I mean,
God.
I was living on the edge.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
Okay, so, all right, I have what are the DTs like?
Well, the DTs is booze.
But all right, what's coming off?
The only.
I think of it as everything.
No, you're right. I mean, some people say that the DTs is normally booze. The only heroin withdrawals can't kill you, but the only type of withdrawals that will kill you are booze, which are the DTs,
Right.
and benzos, which is like Xanax. Coming
Right.
off of Xanax can kill you.
Right.
You have a seizure.
Right.
And that's true with alcohol. And I've drank enough alcohol. When I used to do coke, I could drink gallons of Jack Daniels.
Definitely.
I don't know how my liver didn't explode. You know.
Definitely.
You know,
Yeah, I love that.
And I got DTs from that, but nothing was like the withdrawals from opiates for me. But they say,
like, do you sweat and shake and
you can't get comfortable. You get sweats, but you're cold. You can't sit up. You can't lie down.
Sounds like it's like having a really terrible flu.
Well, yeah, but also with your joints have a pain you can't imagine.
Right.
Like, because everything is just coming at you and every pain. Also, you like if you do it for a long time on a regular basis, you might have, like, I found out I slipped a disc in my back and I didn't even know it because I didn't know the pain.
Oh, my God.
I was pain free for a couple of years.
Right.
And that pain hit me like a freight train
Right.
when I detoxed.
Right.
The ways it can take you out are multiple.
So when
know?
you're done detoxing and you're like, okay, I don't have any pain anymore.
Right.
Your brain is like, must be so fucking wasted.
Yes, because it takes a few months, I think, to fully detox your brain.
Right.
Because you're in a depression.
Right.
They have to remember all this euphoria is now gone.
Right.
And sometimes the receptors in your brain are so burnt.
Right.
You know, it's like replacing a spark plug or something.
Right.
You can't do that, but with a body, but. The only thing it does is time. But sometimes you're so burnt that, burnouts, it's a real thing. I mean, you can burn yourself out,
So, how much money do you think you spent on drugs, alcohol, rehab,
I tried to
detox,
figure this out. I threw gambling in there, too. I threw
gambling,
every vice.
Everything, strippers, everything.
In the last 25 years, I'm going to say between $2 and $3 million.
Oh. All right. Now, if...
Cash. So that should be...
So that's
that
4
should
to
be,
5.
Yeah.
As a Jew, I know it would be double.
Double, yeah.
If someone said...
Here's a story.
Okay.
The most I ever made doing stand-up in one night, I was on Howard. Mandalay Bay in Vegas paid me $140,000 for 2 shows. I got $60,000 each show.
Plus a bonus.
And plus a bonus for $20,000 for going to the club in Mandalay Bay for an hour. I just had to show up there.
Right.
So I made $140,000 doing stand-up. I did the math on the plane ride home. I did the math. I was down $8,000 for the week.
No fucking way.
After gambling, hookers, dope, and paying my agent, I was down
Was it worth it?
Was down $8,000.
Okay, so
That's a good question.
So someone comes to you and says, Artie, this is all the money you've ever spent.
All right. Yeah.
I'm giving it to you right now.
Yeah.
I'm giving it back to you.
Right.
What would you do with it?
Oh, I'd probably pay off 2 mortgages. I would do something, it's a boring answer. I would do something practical with it. I've never done that before.
Would you help,
I would do
like,
something that an
rehab people?
average human being would do. I am charitable with stuff like that. I've done a lot of shows to help people try to get
You
through
probably
this.
shared your heroin and shit with
The
people.
heroin I don't share.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't.
It's
heroin.
like my
Coke
cholera.
you share.
Yeah.
Coke is like an ecstasy. Those are like social drugs.
Yes.
You don't
Okay.
share heroin.
Okay.
Heroin, you want to isolate. It's such a terrible drug because, Coke and stimulants are like social. You want to go, let's have fun.
Right.
Heroin is like, no, I want to be by myself and listen to, Pink Floyd or
This
whatever.
is what I did once. When I was, I think, a senior in college.
Yeah.
I had an internship at Don Buchwald.
Sure.
And there was this woman who was an agent. She was blonde and really peppy and like really, hot 90s. She was hot. Like she was tall
Right.
and yeah. So one day, we go in, I'm in the bathroom and she's doing Coke. And she's like, oh, do you want some? And I'm like, okay. And so I did the Coke.
That's all you need.
Right. And so I fucking don't need Coke. Anyway, so I did the Coke and I finished working and I'm like, oh, I'll go to the gym. I'll go swimming. I used to swim at the Y on 60.
That's a great, healthy thing to do after cocaine.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking thought I was going to have a fucking
I'm
heart
sure.
attack.
My God, you were swimming after
Oh my
Coke.
God. I'm like, boom, 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 boom. Like only I would say I did something bad.
I would never swim after cocaine.
What the fuck is wrong with me?
That's hilarious.
I know to be okay. I did something bad. Let me do something positive.
I feel like we're going to an intervention.
I know.
We're going to an intervention for Judy. She's at the New York Athletic Club. You have to wait. She's on a bender.
No,
doing
it was the
butterflies.
wine. I couldn't afford anything. Go.
I smoked crystal meth once and went
There you go.
paddling canoe in a race for a few hours afterward, or as I
Really?
before
On
the come
meth?
down. On meth.
I
Yeah.
hope you won.
Oh yeah.
So like
one of the best days.
Artie,
ever.
what do you think of like athletes who cheat with the drugs?
I don't know. It's funny. It sounds judgmental coming from me, but in the old days, there's a lot of athletes that got busted for cocaine, but that diminishes your performance.
Right.
Science says steroids does enhance your performance, and it's not legal. So technically, I'm against it. You should play fair. I mean, there's some people who just go, look, what do we care? Let them do steroid. Everyone, steroids are legal. Let's see them hit 500-foot home run.
Right.
I think they got to make up their mind. Obviously, you can't. You think about the kids who don't make it, who emulate these guys.
Right.
That's the biggest problem. These kids who ruin their bodies on steroids for a while and they become a bouncer at a strip club. They don't become A-Rod.
And they have like teeny weenies.
Well, that's the side effects. So I would say, for that sake alone, just say, look, it's all banned, it's all outlawed, like the way they're going, and you just play natural.
Right. Now, I always had this vision of creating a film, like having a film where like Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, there's this team of the most amazing playing a team from today.
Right, yeah.
Everyone's hero.
Wouldn't even be a game.
Right.
Yeah.
They couldn't fucking win, right?
Babe Ruth, I mean, I'm probably in the same shape Babe Ruth was in at his height.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, these guys now are super, the football players are super
I can't, but they're fucked up with the fucking concussions.
Yeah, I know. Look, because they're hitting each other. These guys do a 4.140. They could run 40 yards
I know.
From a dead position in 4 seconds.
Now, have you ever hit a woman?
No.
See?
Never.
What do you look at me for? See?
I've dated a few women who could take a charge, like in basketball.
Has a woman ever hit you?
Yes. They get in front of me, they plant their feet like in the 3-point.
They pricked you with needles.
I've stopped a woman from hitting me by hugging her, giving her a bear.
Oh, that's a good one.
You gotta stop doing this right now.
What? First of all, we have 2 questions that you have to answer. Number 1, what antidepressants are you on?
I'm not on any anymore.
What?
I'm not on any anymore. I was able to get off all pills. But the one that, I tell you, it's funny, it's kind of an old school one, but the one that really helped me in the 90s was Paxil.
That's what I'm on.
Is that true?
Yes, because of my depression.
I found that to be good. That worked for me. Zoloft I didn't love.
No, Zoloft I puked.
I tried that. Well, Butrin I didn't like, but if I had to vote for one, Paxil, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good.
That's what I'm on.
Yeah.
Among other things. But,
right.
Wow, so you're on nothing?
Right
What
now.
does it feel like? Like, are you fight? Do you have to fight?
Well, the next move is getting physically healthy. I gotta because I substituted that.
See, what I did, I would run those 10, 15 miles because I would get euphoric.
Endorphins,
I would
yeah.
have those endorphins.
See,
I was
gotta
addicted
get that.
to.
I'd love to get that. I went through
I'll
a period,
work out with you.
Well, listen, I went through a period. Sweetie, I would do that. I need a partner, especially
I'll
someone
do
funny
it.
would be great.
I go to the gym all the time.
But here's the thing.
I'm starting a Google Calendar for both of you.
I got to know what a Google Calendar is.
Right.
So here's the thing. For a period of time, I was an athlete. I mean, I was an all county baseball player. I was always thin. But so this is all from shit living, and I liked being athletic. But that, shit living completely.
You got to go to my trainer.
Yeah.
He's fucking awesome.
I could use a good trainer. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times when you're young and athletic too, I feel it's easier to gain weight because as soon as you stop working out or playing sports
Absolutely.
or graduate,
That's what happened
and your
to me.
How
diet
old are you?
doesn't
How old are
change.
you?
30.
Right.
So
Shut the fuck up. Wait until you're
miss.
fucking 45 and you can't just run it off. Okay, ass? Anyway,
It is hard.
It is.
It's way harder.
What in the world or in your life pisses you off the most?
Oh, God. What pisses me off the most?
I mean, I can tell you
as a comic, fake, fake outrage.
Oh, I can't.
Because that affects my living, and it affects my. I hate's a strong word, but the fake outrage. I don't like the people who tell people they should be offended. About it. I don't like people who go, because that's a patronizing, condescending, racist thing.
Right.
I don't like white ultra liberals who tell black people they should be offended by something.
Right.
Because essentially what they're saying is you're not smart enough. I'm going to tell you why.
Right.
That, and they pretend to be outraged by it. That fake outrage is so
I hate fake
deplorable to me. Real outrage I admire.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
and there's so much of it.
The fake outrage that's done just for their
benefit.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
Do you have
too.
an example?
Al Sharpton's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Al Sharpton's a guy who it's all for him. All that outrage.
He hasn't paid his taxes.
He's a businessman.
All I say about Al, I've met him. He's very nice. Tawana Brawley. That's all I think about.
He's a bullshitter.
When I see him, I cannot forget Tawana Brawley.
Yeah, he's a bullshitter.
And he doesn't look good thin.
And he does look odd. He looks
like a fucking bobblehead.
He looks like a coin from the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what pissed me off a little bit?
What?
So, okay, my mother dies. I put in for spots at the Cellar.
Yeah.
Last week.
Right.
And I played the Shiva card. I said, SD.
Oh, you'll be playing that for
You know
years.
why? Because I did it Monday morning instead of Sunday night.
Okay. Oh, right. I know she gets right.
Yeah. So I put in for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Behind the scenes shit.
Shut up. Monday, 8:05. That's it. That's what I got. Monday, 8:05.
Really?
That's it.
See, I don't understand that.
And then I'm like, what the fuck do I have to do?
Yeah. That place is,
and that brings me back to 1985 when I'd call the Strip or I'd call Catch and be like, "Hi, am I on the schedule?"
Yeah.
Remember that?
Lucian at the Strip was tough to figure out.
Yeah.
I like the mystery people. I can't stand. Like at least be consistent with it.
Right.
You couldn't figure them out, but. It is a different business. People are getting spots for the wrong reasons.
I know.
They are. They are.
I just can't stand I'm on YouTube or I have this many Jim Jones had followers. That was like a fucking follower. You know?
I know.
What is the fucking follower?
That's a very weird word, follower.
Don't you think?
It used to be a bad thing.
Right.
You know? And friend used to be a noun.
Right.
A verb. I don't know where it's going with the social media thing, but
I think it's fucked.
The Twitter. I love when some of these comedy clubs in the Midwest will give a guy who's popular on Twitter headlining
a weekend, yeah.
and then wonders why the guy bombed.
Right.
Because the guy's not a comedian.
Right.
But he's famous.
But that's what they check. They check Twitter followers.
Yeah. They should. Going on stage and performing is such a different thing.
Right.
You can also pay for a lot of Twitter followers.
But
you
when
can
we
pay
went
a
on
service.
but we went on the road, Artie and I.
No.
There was no internet. There were no cell phones.
It's very different.
I mean,
it's hard now.
I have PTSD, I'm telling you from it. But also, it's like you couldn't make a phone call. It was $5,000, you know?
That's right.
I had a fucking coffee maker from Zabar's that I tried. It was...
Yeah, a hotel, making a phone call from a hotel room doubled your bill. Pretty much.
You made no money that
Right,
week.
exactly.
But the beds vibrated back then.
Yeah.
Well, it's I don't know. Again, the 7 minutes these kids get that they love and they have that set, they don't take risks.
Right.
Because they're afraid if they take a risk and they go outside those 7 minutes, someone's going to get it on YouTube and they're going to get embarrassed with all their other young YouTube friends.
Right.
And what happens is you don't get better. You don't get better as a comedian without risking. So you have to bomb.
So what would you say to a young comedian afraid to take risks?
I would say get in another business.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but at the same time, fuck me, they might get a sitcom, you know, so why not roll the dice? Why not roll the dice?
Who wants to be on network television?
But if you don't have the passion for that, if you don't have the passion enough to take a risk, which is why, you know, I like Louis' show, like he shows himself bombing a lot.
Right.
Like, you know, that's great that these kids are seeing that.
Right.
You know, it's not all, I love that in Seinfeld's a documentary comedian. He shows himself bombing.
Right.
You know, that's the whole thing. And in a way, it's part of the process. It's almost less boring than doing well. If you're doing it as long as us, obviously we know how to kill.
I kind of like.
We know how to kill. We've been doing it a long time.
Right.
It's not even giving yourself a compliment. It's like a carpenter building a deck. You know
Right.
how to
Or a surfer, really. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You guys
so
surf
you
the
get.
audience.
It's less boring to bomb sometimes. You have a bet. Yeah.
I kind of sometimes I ask them, why the fuck are you like? What is it?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when an audience is so bad, I want to go on more than ever.
That's happening at the cellar a lot too.
Right.
Like some of the audiences are getting to be like a college crowd.
I know.
Something, you know, they're not prepared for what they're about to see. Some of them,
Right.
You know, and anything that seems angry, they get tense with.
I know. I get really. I talk about this audition I went on to be the voice of an irritated vagina, which is so funny.
Right.
But I'm talking about the guy who wrote the fucking that he's obviously got fucking mother issue.
So. A guy
that
wrote
he
it.
writes a guy writes it for a woman's product and makes the vagina irritated, you know? And I'm like, what the fuck? And they're all like, oh my God, she's serious?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
This
of course
is fucking
I'm
ridiculous.
Serious. Yeah.
And the more straight face you tell that story, the more hilarious it is.
Sure.
But it's true. It's fucking like, what the fuck is wrong with us?
The business is nuts now because
I know.
The options with television and the stuff that gets picked up.
All right, so I'm sitting Shiva, right?
Yes.
And then
But does that last a week? A full
it's
week?
7
Yeah.
days. Some people do 3 or 4.
If you're Judy, it lasts
No, it's
years.
7 days. Shut the fuck up, Lauren. I'm in fucking mourning. Anyway. How many people come over? Like, I fucking hate. I don't know if you like this question. This is a fucking kill me now question. So, what's next for you?
I know.
Shut the fuck up. I don't know.
Let me get out my notebook.
Or what? Yeah, right.
I'll cry
and
some more.
Have you ever
What a loaded
thought
question.
about?
I don't
you
know.
thought about being on Saturday Night Live? No, I've never fucking thought about that.
I hate that. People are like, why aren't you on Broadway yet?
Right.
You should
I'm like, because
you should do Broadway.
I don't want to be a sellout. You know?
You should do Broadway.
Oh, I didn't fill out my application. They needed some ID and some references. I mean, what the fuck?
That is an annoying.
I know.
There's a lot of annoying questions like so-called civilians will ask.
And it's and I say that now. I say that is the worst fucking question. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And then the people who you
How
picked
did you
on,
not know?
I know the people you picked on
Why
like
don't you get
40
your own
years ago.
sitcom?
Yeah. Have you ever thought about? No, I've never thought about that. I've thought about sitting in my fucking apartment with my one bathroom and saying,
Your one
"This
bathroom.
is fucking great." I just cleaned up pee from my son all over the fucking floor.
I have one bathroom.
I have one bathroom. I have one fucking bathroom.
Oh,
All right, sorry.
that's all right. Let it out. Let it out.
Wow, I do get pissed off. That's why I wanted this podcast because I'm like,
Podcasts are fun. I'm doing one too, and you got to come on.
Can I
You got to
come on?
return the favor, sure. And it is truly uncensored because even at Sirius you could curse, but you still work for a corporation.
right. I love this.
Oh, it's great.
It's
is fun.
fucking awesome.
It's a lot of fun.
It is, except for, but all right. So what's next for you? No, I'm kidding.
My own sitcom.
Yeah, are you working tonight?
I am not. I'm going to Montreal actually.
Oh, you are?
I'm doing that whole thing. And,
I did that last year. It kind of got me motivated.
Yeah, they you know what? They're letting me host they're putting the Nasty Show on Showtime, and they asked me to host it.
That's fucking awesome.
So that's a good gig. And they're going to let me do the podcast from up there. And I'm doing like 12 Nasty Shows. So I'm up there the whole time.
That's awesome.
And it is motivating. And it was a generous offer. It was nice. So in the Showtime special, it's kind of getting me. Because I just did the special where you heard that therapy thing. That was just 8 months ago.
Yeah, I love
so
that.
I got 15 minutes of new stuff to host. And it's exciting. Stand-up is exciting. What we do is interesting. Because we get to change it. It is fun.
I know. I get
it's rock
so
and
bored
roll.
with
It's
my
like,
old shit. Yeah.
And it's showbiz, and you can keep going and doing it every night. It's better than just acting. You
right.
know?
And
Right.
it's not like Billy Joel who does the same songs.
It's very different. They won't let you do it.
Right.
You know, which it's challenging.
But it's annoying because, like, you go to hear a concert and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I want to hear this song. I want to hear that song. Why can't people want to hear a bit? Like,
Right.
I want to hear people's bits.
I know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you can't. You did that already. Fuck you.
No, I'd
you
like to
write
hear-
a fucking joke.
I would like to hear it live. It's true.
Right. How many fucking you write a joke and get back to me and tell me how long?
I
it
hate
takes
the
you.
people, and these people on Twitter will go, how about a new joke? Like, I did 58 new minutes. You tell one joke that was
Right.
How about a new joke? You
How
want to
about-
strangle
right.
them.
Have you seen Heckler?
No.
No, it's. I mean, it's.
Is it good?
It pretty much. The whole thesis is this conversation.
Who did
Who
it?
is it?
Who did it? Yeah.
I'll look it up right now because I don't want to be wrong.
I heard about it.
Is it
yeah.
new?
It's fantastic. It's just about. No, it's not new. It's about the comedy audience and
Right.
how. And
It's a documentary?
They speak. Yes, it's a
Oh,
documentary.
no.
They
I'm
speak
saying
to
what comics
hecklers, and
did, yeah.
comics sit down with their hecklers.
How the fuck didn't I get on that?
And
Oh,
they
wait
have
a
a
minute. Is that the
conversation with
one
them.
with, is that the one with, what's his name? The kid who had the fake the hidden camera show. It might be about 5 years ago. I think I know what you're talking about.
2007 it came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know
All
what
right,
you're
that's
talking
why.
about.
That's 8 years ago, Artie.
Yeah,
You're
it's
old.
a while. Well, no, but I'm trying to think of. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the kid who had a hidden camera show for
The
a
director
while.
is Michael Addis.
He did the Malibu Most Wanted. That
Jamie
guy.
Kennedy
Jamie
was in it.
Kennedy.
Yeah, so is Joe
I saw it.
Rogan,
He really
Bill Maher,
lets.
Dave Attell.
He really shows these hecklers letting them have it. Actually.
Yeah, I mean the hecklers
Yeah.
let the comedians have it to their faces, and then the
In the green
comedians
room.
get to respond
Yeah.
in the green room.
Yeah,
It's pretty
yeah.
fantastic.
Look, I am one of those comics who feels like if you're funny, you're funny. And,
Right.
do the work, whatever. But it's so fucking annoying that, like, you look at that. It's Dave Attell. It's this guy. It's like annoying.
It is. It is all guys
Yeah,
actually.
it was
And
also
I-
almost 10 years ago too. I feel like
it doesn't
now.
matter, but it's just like it's so stupid. And people are, oh, what do you think about the female? I feel like it sucks for women in every profession.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Except for like teaching and nursing or something.
yeah.
But
The professions
As
that are
soon as
completely
we're-
underpaid.
right.
As long as we're still calling it the female anything, it's
Right. I used to
there's-
get people who are like, oh, our next comic's a chick.
Right.
Or our next comic is really tall.
Or our next
I used to be
comedian.
like, I used
Really
to be
tall?
like, yeah, I used to get, or they'd lift the mic stand really high up. And I'd go, oh, that was our male comic who's fat and has a small dick. Our next comic has a really small cock. All right.
That's a funny. Good joke. Putting the mic up high. That's
God. Artie, I love you.
Well, you know what, Judah? I love you. I'm glad you invited me to do this. And
Oh,
I'll
my
give you
God.
my info. You got to come on mine.
I'm
We're gonna
in,
do this,
baby.
yeah. But
We want to go to Montreal next year.
it's great to see you. Yeah, I haven't been there in 17 years.
I know.
So-
It made me feel like, oh my God, I missed this. You know what was so weird at Montreal? I went last year and I saw these young comics
Right.
standing by the elevator and like, "Grr." And I'm like, that was me 25 years
Yeah,
ago.
you get the flashbacks. You can't.
Yeah, and I can't believe, and I want to go, it's not worth it. It's so fucking not worth
Pull them
it.
aside and go, let me talk to
Yeah,
you.
let me tell you something. They're all full of shit.
We got a lot of shit to
Yeah,
tell
yeah. All right.
Well, thanks.
Thank you
Judah.
for being on.
Thank you so
Artie.
much.
I love you.
I appreciate it.
and
If artiequitter.com, that's my thing.
Artie
yeah,
Quitter?
artiequitter.com.
One word, artiequitter.com. It's podcast and my dates for stand up and all the great shit in my life.
And you're gonna and on Twitter is Artie
that same
Quitter.
thing, Artie Quitter. Yeah.
And then we're gonna promote the fuck out of this
Thank you.
because I love you.
But let me know when it's going to air. I will myself.
Oh, yeah,
Do
bitches.
whatever I got to do.
All right.
All right.
All right. Do we have anything to say to close with?
JudyGold.com/killmenow.
Oh God, Lauren.
That was nice.
Yeah, really. Nothing from my mother.
And yeah, I mean the ending always ends with your mom.
Okay, good.
The ending of the show.
Rest
Did you know
in
that?
peace.
Have you heard it yet?
No, I hate listening to myself or looking at myself on television.
I'm just gonna play you the ending because it's really
Okay.
beautiful.
All right.
Yeah, your mom
wanna
is a
keep
part of
that.
every show.
All right, good.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
She upstages you every time she gets the last word.
Always.
Yep.
All right. I'll be in a depression about a month when this fucking hits me. So, and we're going to the gym.
You'll be all right. Yeah, let me know. I'll do
right.
that. I got to motivate.
All right.
Kill
So
me now.
long.
And